Starting with a new series where I want to post every Wednesday an item where I've combined now fabric with crocheting work. So I look at what fabrics I have in the cupboard. All of these fabrics come from sample books that I buy at charity shops. Then I've looked what I have in my cupboard, because my aim is now to make a zipper pouch, but I'm going to make an outside crocheted pocket. Let us start this granny rectangle. We start with a slip knot. Then we need to make 20 chain stitches. Now we need to make 2 trebles into the 4th chain from the hook. At this stage, it will be quite helpful to just put a marker in where your next 3 trebles will be, because it is a bit hard once this stitch opens up more to then see where the next 3 trebles must be, because we have to still put in 6 more trebles into this space. So that was the space that I'm now still working in. Then I count 1, 2, 3, and here into this stitch I will make after I've done the corner part. Then I can't get confused. It's easy to count. Good. So let us carry on, because I'm now busy making the 2 corners of the rectangle. So 2 chain stitches for 1 corner, then 3 trebles into that same 4th chain. Then again 2 chain stitches, and then still 3 more trebles into that chain. So all of this was done in the 4th chain from the hook. So this will form, as you can see, the 2 sides here. Now I have counted and I have my stitch marker in there. I can now take it out because I can still see I need to go into that stitch. Now I will just make a chain stitch, and then I will make 3 trebles into the 4th chain. So I've skipped 3 and I make 3 trebles. Then again 1 chain stitch. I again skip 3 chain stitches and make 3 trebles into the next. Then again skip 3 and 3 trebles. Now we're here at the corner. Into this last chain I need to make 3 trebles, 2 chain, 3 trebles, 2 chain, and again 3 trebles. So first the first 3 trebles. Sort out the yarn first. Then 2 chain stitches. Then the next 3 trebles. Just take the loose end to the back. Then 2 chain stitches, and then the last 3 trebles into the same opening. Then 1 chain. Now you don't have to count, because now you just look here where the big opening is, where you have made those 3 trebles. You make again 3 into the other side. So you will see we need to give this pocket a lining. then 1 chain, let me have split the yarn there, 1 chain, 3 trebles, and once you have done this first round, then the rest will be like granny squares. 1 chain, then 3 trebles, just sort out the yarn again, there we go. 1 chain and slip stitch here to that top, the 3rd chain. And from here on, it will be like we normally make the granny square. But I'm going to take now another color. We take our 2nd color. I normally start with a treble immediately, so I'm making a slip knot first. So I've made the slip knot, yarn over, and immediately start here with a treble. You can also start with 3 chain stitches, your choice. Then 2 more trebles, 2 chain stitches because it's at the corner, 3 trebles, then 1 chain, then we at the next corner, 3 treble, 2 chain, 3 treble, then a chain stitch. Now here in the past, in some projects, I leave out the chain stitch between the trebles. While I in any case need to line this pocket, I'm not going to worry now, so I make it the way that we will make the classic granny. So now it's quite easy. If you've done the granny in the past, you just need to every time breach 3 trebles with a chain stitch, and into the next space you also make 3 trebles. And when you're at the corners, it's 3, 2, 3. Good, so there you can see how it develops. So at each corner, 3 trebles, 2 chain, 3 treble. When you're breaching 3 trebles, it's just 1 chain. So now here again, 1 chain, into the space 3 trebles. Now carry on till the end. And we end with 1 chain. And then slip stitch into this top treble. You can pull out the yarn. So I'm going again to work in the ends before I carry on. Again, I will make a slip knot. And you can actually start at any place. Because you can even start here. Let me show you. So I normally start with a treble where I just grab this loose end and hold it under my finger. I yarn over and I go into the space. And I just keep it there. And there I've made a treble. It's so easy. Or you can start with 3 chain stitches. 2 more trebles into this space. And now I will go all around again. 1 chain between them, and at the corners 2 chain stitches. Now here I've made a chain stitch to breach this, and now in here I'll make 3 trebles. And again a chain stitch. Then I'm at the next corner, 3 to 3. Okay, now I'm first going to work in the loose ends. You also do not have to start with a treble. You can start with 3 chain stitches or even with a DC and 2 chain stitches. Let me show you. Because there's so many ways, as long as you don't start every time in the same space. So move around. So I normally just, let me show you how I also like to start. If it's then not a treble. I go in, you can see how I finished off. It looks a bit rough here, but we're going to crochet over it. So I go into another space, and now I just keep the loose end here under my finger, and I make a chain stitch, and then I make a DC first. And now 2 more chain stitches. Then I take this loop to the back. Because if you start with 3 chain stitches, there tends to be a loose loop here. Now at least you don't have to worry. Then 2 more trebles into this space. Then a chain stitch, and now we will go around the way we did with the others. 1 chain between a treble cluster. And now we can slip stitch into the top of the 2 chain stitches that I've made on top of the DC. Cut the yarn and sew in the ends at the back. Let us see, I don't know if this will be enough. I'll just see, otherwise I'll use some other yarn. Start in any space. Again, you begin with a DC and then 2 chain stitches. There you can see I've even done a DC now in another way. I was actually just now concentrating on the yarn and if that would be enough. Another way to start is just going in and make a chain stitch, and now you make a DC, and on top of this DC you make 2 more chain stitches. Take that to the back. Then 3 trebles. I'm going to try my luck, so I'm not going to now record this, because by now you know how it works, and I will go around. I've tried my luck and it worked. I'm actually so relieved. So I can finish with this. I can definitely see that I will now need to go around with this color, and then I'll just go with DCs up and down for the top. But what I can also see is that I need to line it, because there is now not a uniform lining at the back. So let me first just make a chain stitch. Then we slip stitch into the top of the 2 chains, and then I can cut the yarn, just pull it out like that, and now sew in the loose ends. When you do the last round, start in the top corner there where you want the top of the pocket to be. So you will join the yarn here. Then you will make 3 chain stitches, or you make a treble. Then you make the 2 chain stitches that will make the corner, then 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles, and you go all around. Into the corner, 3 treble, 2 chain, 3 treble. Now you went all around. When you arrive back here, then you make 2 trebles, slip stitch into the 3rd chain, or slip stitch into this treble. Then you slip stitch into this space. Now the first stitch that you will make into this space must be a half treble. So maybe give it a chain first to give you some space, and then you make a half treble, then you make a DC into this space. Then a DC in each of these trebles, a DC into this space, and like that you carry on up till this space. In this space, you make again a DC and you end up with a half treble in this space. Then you turn the work, and then I'm going to show you now how you can start this round and this row, because now you're going to work just in rows. So how you start this row by not making a chain stitch that will now form a little lump here to the left, just lifting the stitch a little bit and then making your first DC. But can you see this lovely line here? I wanted to bring some texture into the top of the pocket. So this row of DCs I've made in the loop nearest to me, the front loop. And then these loops are now the back loops that I've remade. When I arrived here and I turned, then I've made a row of DCs. And then when I arrived here, now I had to go around with DCs. Because I've already made my round of DCs up to here before I did these rows. Now the edges here were not neat. Look at this one also. The edges were not neat, while if you first do the rows and then finally you go around with DCs, then your edges will be neat at both sides as well. And so I'm going to not make a chain stitch. I just bring it up, and now I'm going to crochet the DCs in the front loop only, the loop here closest to me. So the first one will be a bit more tricky, the others will be easy. So in the loop closest to me, let me show you. So I just go into this loop. We call it the front loop. So then it makes a little line at the front, and that sort of starts to finish it off nicely. Here you can see it makes a lovely little line. Now I'm going to go for the last row. And now in this row, I'm going to work in the back loops only. Turn like that. And then I just lift it a bit and I make a DC in the back loop. And now I make DCs in each of the back loops. This is the felt fabric that I'm going to put behind this pocket as a lining for the pocket. I've taken a zip and I've cut it to length. And now I've just made little zipper tabs like that, fold it in half, like that you would fold it. And then you iron it, then you fold it again in half, like that. And now you slide it onto the ends of the zip. Let us see, because I want it to be shorter, and it is shorter than the pocket. Now I'm going to stitch here. So I'll cut off the excess. I want to hand sew this at the end to the pouch. So let us see in which position. I need to take into consideration that there must be a seam here at the bottom, and there will be a seam here at the top in the zip, where the zipper goes. I think that will be correct. Now I'm going to use the zipper foot and I'm going to stitch it here to this front of the pocket. That's now like that. We'll close to this side. This is where I want the pocket to be. So now I'm going to sew the zip to this felt fabric as it is here, but I'll just now position it correctly. I will cut the felt fabric afterwards. Going to turn it. Let us see how I can do this. Here it is. Now I'm going to just take this part out of the way. So I'm going to clip it here. And now I want to sew this part to the felt fabric. I'm going to clip it also. It must go a bit over, because as we have seen the pocket, I can cut the felt fabric to size, but the pocket goes a bit over these tabs. The pocket is a bit longer than where the tabs stop. I will clip it again into place. And you can see that's out of the way. And now I'm going to stitch along there. Now I'm going to cut this felt fabric to size. I'll make a line here. I've made now lines. I've made here lines where I need to cut it, and then I'm going to machine stitch it to the fabric, and then I'm going to hand sew it onto the felt fabric. Before you machine sew now this felt fabric here at the sides to this fabric, you need to first stitch the loose ends of the zip also up against the felt, and the same here. So flip it open and again machine stitch here the loose end of the zip here also, that it is attached to this. So that means it cannot then get in the way when you open or close the zip. I have now the two sides of the zipper pouch. To this one I've already attached now the pocket. Here's the other side. Then I've cut two of similar size for the lining. I'm not going to put interfacing on the lining as this fabric is quite stiff. Then I need also to have these tabs for the zip. I've cut the zip also to length. Have a look. The length is normally something like that there's enough seam allowance at the side. And then I've cut tabs also for the zip, so I can now attach this and I'll sew it there, and I'll do the same at the other side. Now you just need to be careful, because I want the closed end to be this side, so I do it like that, and then I can see that it's both sides the same distance away. Clip it in place. I'll just do it here in the middle, because we still need to put the lining in place. Now I'm just going to sew under the machine just from here all along the zipper line up to here where the tab is. So you mustn't stitch further than the tab. So I will start here somewhere. Good, so we've stitched it like that. Now I turn it, and now I'm first going to steam it, and then I'm going to top stitch from there up to there, and then I'll do the other side as well. The top stitching this side is done. There you can see at the back. Now I bring in the other one and check, it will be like that. And first just close this. Like that. And now we put the lining down. And now the same process, just stitch from there, the end of the tab up to here, the end of the tab, all along the zip. Now it looks like this. I just need to steam now this. First have it flat, steam it, and then I need to top stitch it again from here up to there at the end of the tab. We're now at the final stages. Zip must be open now. That's quite important. And now you take the two front and the back, and there where the seam is, you need to stitch them from there together. This lining must be out of the way. You can even pin it just like that to get it totally out of the way. You're first going to just stitch these two together from there all around to the other side up to here. Again, take the lining out of the way, so you will stitch up to here. Just pin the lining away out of place. Good. So now I'm going to stitch all around. Now we're going to stitch the lining also. As you can see here, the zip is still open. Now the lining, the seams of the lining must be wider. So I normally stitch them here. As you can see the seams here, or you can maybe not see so well, but I've stitched it actually twice here because you can see the fabric starts to unravel here. So I went over twice that it can't unravel more. And now here I'm going to give it a bigger seam. So now I'm going to keep an opening here. So here you leave it open and you stitch from here up to there. The linings now again together, so the others must be out of the way. Push it to the back and you just need to now stitch the linings, these two parts. So let me just put it correctly. Oh, here's something happened. Only the linings now. That from there you stitch it all the way around up to here in the middle, and then you do the same at the other side. So keep this out of the way. Keep this part just out of the way. I'm going to do actually just this, but it's not there where I want to stitch. That side as well. It is upholstery fabric, so it is a bit quite thick fabric. I did cut the corners. Here it's easier. Here we'll just do this. Or I can even come from this way. I just do that. Good. Now this side. That's easy. And now I need to just first move this also. It's now the lining. And now I need to stitch it here to close it. Here you can see, this is how it looks now inside. And here this zip will also work well. This is how the pocket looks inside. So now I just need to sew this to the front and then give it a tassel, and I think also then a wristband. So I'm going to take this yarn and split it. So you can see like that, and then I'm going to the one end I'll put now in my mouth. This is the easiest, and now I have working thread, and now I'm going to sew it onto this. I can luckily open here that I have a grip. I can even open here. So let me just pin it to the pocket. So now I start and I just sew it here to the felt fabric. Just want that knot also to be inside.